Hello there, Big Benedict here. We're playing Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition on Dante Must Die difficulty, and this is my SSS-Rank guide and walkthrough. We're currently on mission 15 of 20. It is entitled Fortuna Castle. So, we're back with Dante over here, and you will need to obtain 12,250 stylish points to clear this mission, and you have a 41-minute time window. So this is actually one of the longer missions, and it's one of those missions that I had trouble with a long time ago because it is a lengthy mission, and there's a lot of fights to do and a lot of potential to just get outright killed, and I still did. And I don't think I've mentioned exactly what turbo mode is, but turbo mode, to my understanding, is it's a PC exclusive feature, and it speeds up the game, meaning that the enemies in you get a speed increase of 20%. Now, the enemy that we're fighting here is already fast enough without turbo mode, but the blitz can be just incredibly difficult. So this guide has been on turbo the entire time, except for the first mission. It's just a preference. So that enemy, if you're having trouble with it, you can take turbo mode off, because that thing is just incredibly, just way too fast to deal with. So I always get hit on it pretty much, and it always gives me a difficult time. It's one of those enemies that oh, by the way, if you don't have some devil trigger right there, you're going to have a hard time potentially getting those orbs. I only know of one way to get those orbs up there. You have to have some devil trigger, so make sure that you have a little bit left. And what you want to do is you want to do the double jump and do an air hike, and then do a third jump by activating devil trigger, and it will let you do a third jump. So this mission is quite difficult, but what I was going to say, those blitzes, they make you not even want to play the game sometimes, because they're just so outright crazy with how fast they are. But I don't just turn turbo mode off and on indiscriminately on this walkthrough. It's for the long haul, and the only time it wasn't on was, like I said, on mission 1 with Dante. Now over here, I'm going to show you how to, if you want to take these enemies out with the throw of a rose here. So if you equip Lucifer and you use a move, I can't remember the name of the move, quite honestly, but what it is I know how to do it. When they're attacking you like that, if you have Swordmaster on with Lucifer, you can throw the rose by doing right bumper, and then it's back plus Y. So it's one of those moves that I didn't even know how to do, so I was looking it up, and I was just trying to show you interesting ways to kill those enemies. And yeah, this mission is just outright crazy. The boss fight is another frog boss fight. I think I have to say that the frog is just downright my favorite enemy in this game to fight for a boss. Just I like fighting it, and it's fun fighting it with both characters, so that kind of tells you that it's a really good boss. But Dagon is what it is. It's essentially just a palette swap, so it's no different from Nero's frog fight, but of course we're using a different character now. So I have to tell you, between you and me, this boss fight was just absolutely nuts. Those fucking shit bitches that it uses for distraction, they almost killed me, not him. And I got so good of real impacts, so you're gonna see some really good real impacts on this boss, the best I've ever got. He didn't last long, but the irony was that those whiptails, those water nymphs, or what have you, on those, they almost killed me. So I was sloppy with them, but when I got my hands on Dagon, I had some good real impacts. Next fight up here, we're gonna have scarecrows and mega scarecrows. The mega scarecrows, you can really tell how much HP they have. They have a ton of HP. This room over here. This move here is called the Dance Macabre, and now that I think about it, you hardly get any stylish points for doing that. it's one of those long-winded moves that it should seemingly give you way more stylish points than it gives you, but you don't get hardly anything for it. So it's very strange. But in this room, you're going to fight about 3 Mega Scarecrows. And have I even mentioned Darkslayer? I don't like... I really wish you can unequip some of these weapons, because you have to toggle between 3 weapons on this game for the guns and the swords. And when you double tap one of the directional buttons, it gives you this this Darkslayer move. And I have to be honest, I use that the least. Probably Gunslinger is what I use least of the main 4, but I even use Darkslayer even less. So quite difficult. Ooh, I almost got hit. These guys have so much goddamn HP, it's ridiculous. But some techniques that you can use the stinger to poke them and they will fall over, but if they're devil triggered, you're going to have a harder time doing that. Also, you're going to have a harder time doing the prop to how you spin the sword and then they fall over. You can still do it, but they have more armor and they have less inclination to fall over, so very difficult. So you need to definitely keep them off the camera, because if they're on the camera, this room is going to be just filled with big enemies that are throwing blades at you and just moving across the screen and potentially trying to kill you in a small environment. It's not as bad as the final fight before the boss, but it's pretty bad. We're in a small room, and at the end of the video, there's a fight with a blitz in a room that's just way too small, just absolutely ridiculously small. So anyway, we're backtracking now with Dante, and the next fight has the potential to. I have a particular way of doing. I'm going to come back for those candelabras real quick, but the best thing that I like to do on the fight, the first thing I like to do on these frosts is to do real impacts and distort them and get them killed just with one distorted real impact. But the thing was, I always fuck up, but I had some redemption. Afterwards, but what I like to do is I like to kill at least 2 of the frosts with real impacts. But the thing is, I had the sword equipped. I thought I had the gauntlets equipped, and I screwed it all up. But later in the fight, I think I got some terrific real impacts, multiple real impacts with killing a couple people hit at the same time. But what I like to do is you don't have to knock them over or anything, because there's time enough to just go up to them and do the real impact and distort it. This one here, I thought I had the gauntlets. You can easily kill him, and I just fucked up the entire. I was so upset right there, so upset. But there we go. No, that wasn't that good actually. What am I talking about? After I kill the first one, and then I move on to the one that spawns in the rear. So you can kill 2 of them very quickly, but there's a Faust that comes at some point, and I don't know when he comes, but he comes, I think after you kill 2 or 3, this room has the potential to be very difficult. There we go. Fuck yeah, that made me feel very good right there. Do not let this Faust on the screen. Do not let him at all. He will wreak so much havoc, and you will be upset. So what you need to do is just run back and forth from one side to the other. Let the frost come to you and teleport over to you, and try to do some good setups. But if they're devil trigger, you're gonna have a harder time, of course, knocking them down, because they will not let you do that because of their resistance to it. So yeah, this room, I've had a problem with this room a long time ago, but I'm not as bad as it now. But once everybody's gone, you can use this move, and you don't have to. If you don't want to, you can, if it's just him, you can move and use the shotgun and things like that. But it takes too long, in my opinion. He has so much life, and he's probably going to be double triggered by the time that you're done with the frosts. So I do like the dependability of the Omen to get him out of his cloak. It involves a lot of switching, to be honest. You've got to switch from Gunslinger to Swordmaster. You've got to switch the weapons. And now we're coming down here. There's no fights in here, so don't worry about that. You just need to hit the switch and get some orbs over here on these jumping pads. The jumping pads were in Devil May Cry 3, and I have to say that I really do not like Devil May Cry 3. I just do not like it. I think it's too difficult, and it's just overly difficult, and it's so difficult that it's not fun. Now, I know what you're thinking. I play games on the hardest difficulty, but still, I have a limit of what I can tolerate, and I just can't tolerate that game. It's not fun. That's why I like this game, because it's easier, but it's not easy. And it's fun. It's definitely fun. Fun for the whole family, I guess you could say. Alright, this room is quite difficult with the blitz. You can't turn turbo mode on just like a switch while you're playing the game. You have to be out of a mission. So that's one thing that you need to be aware of if you want to. You have to start a mission over with it. Now, what I would do is I would hit these breakable objects just to have a little bit more room. And I think this is called the Master's Room. I don't know whose room this is, but it's very small. And after you kill one of these little shits, you're gonna spawn the blitz. So what you can try to do is take them all down at the same time with when they all have low life. Just use strong moves like the Stinger to hit them all. The blitz hopefully is going to help you kill some of them. So staying alive over here is the top priority. And what you can do is you can do these royal guards, and you can just bait him around the room and make sure that you are just staying out of harm's way and nailing those real impacts and not taking too much damage. It's very difficult under stress, and this room is very difficult because it's so small. It's potentially the hardest fight in the chapter. I think the worst thing too about this enemy is that when you get it down to the red, it becomes even faster, and it has this propensity to grab you. So if you don't finish it off, you can often be in just huge trouble. Like this room, do you see my health right now? I'm just trying to stay alive, and I wasn't able to finish it off. It has a little bit of health left, and one of the hazards that you can do on a fight like this is when you're jumping around trying to charge up your gun to shoot it. That's one of the times that when you're on the ground for any length of time trying to charge that gun, it can grab you. So what I'm trying to do is just avoid it at all costs, because I know it's going to explode. If you didn't know, when it's red, you don't have to shoot it anymore. It will expire. Now you can that fire screen too, you can't hit, so don't worry about that. There's also a mirror in there, but it has a mission. The thing will it terminates. It self-terminates. It explodes by itself. But that thing, if it grabs you on this mode, and if you don't have like more than what is it, like you need to have at least, I think, 75% of your health intact when it grabs you, because it will just take so much damage off you. It's not funny. So instead of trying to speed up its ultimate demise, just avoid it so you don't get grabbed or hit. You know, it's a ridiculously sized room. Okay, now this orb up here, what you have to do is you want to use, how do I do this? You double jump, you use Trickster once, and then you switch to the Gunslinger, and then you activate Pandora. You can spend like 10 minutes there struggling with that, and you want to just murder everybody in your family. So I understand about that. Perhaps that triple jump that you can do that we did earlier in the game might help you, but that's the one method that I know how to do, what I showed you right there. Okay, here's Dagon. Now, the other one that we fought in Chapter 4, he started out with, he didn't start out by exposing him, revealing himself. At first, he had his two little bitch lackeys with him. But on Dagon's fight, he reveals himself first, and then you have these lackeys over here. Now, what do you do with these things? I prefer to just use the shotgun on them. The best thing to do would just let them grab you, and then they're going to freeze you, and then just activate double trigger. That takes off no damage from you. So if you're doing a no damage run, that's a good way to do it, because you take 0 damage, and if you still consider that you're getting hit from doing that, just look at your health bar. You don't get damaged. So I'm not sure. Oh, I know why. It's because I barely have enough double trigger to activate it, and I don't want to. I'm trying to build it up a little bit, because this is just an easy part right here, but it's one of the things of this fight. It's, if you're sloppy, these things can get a lot of hits on you. They took off almost all my life, these little things here. You know, it wasn't even Dagon that was causing the problems. So if you stun him, you want to get up front with him in the front of his face and hit his tongue. That's his weak spot. You can deal so much damage to this guy. It is absolutely ludicrous. So yeah, you just let them grab you if you want to. See, look at this. I have no excuse for it. I am playing extremely sloppily. I had such a good chapter, and then these little shits, here they come. Real impact. It doesn't really matter any part of his body, because he's going to be moving around a lot. Just real impact, and then get up front with them. Look at this. Look at this damage. Way more than half his life, because I hit his tongue, and he's dead. Now, there are some breakable objects on here on Chapter 6, but not here. So there's nothing over here to smash. And that fight, we barely fought him. It was just those little shits that we fought. Clear time 21 minutes. 15,784 for the S rank. And we did find all the orbs. For Mission 15, that has been the totality of it. I will see you in Mission 16. Please take care.